I'm Christy Struck.
I'm Mike Struck.
And I'm not afraid to tell you guys that I am 100% alcoholic. I'm sober for 19 months and a few days now. And that has been a difficult road. My addiction started with alcohol, just drinking, not really caring, and still consider myself a Christian because I, drink what I wanted to. But alcohol has a way of realistically covering up if you are hurt or whatever else is going on. It's something that people, myself, turn to. Just either, okay, I can't go to sleep, or my nerves are killing me. If you're having a couple drinks and then it turns into you have got to drive, an extra 20 miles to go to the liquor store because it's not open on Sunday, then that might be a problem. Now, as I'm walking closer to the Lord, I see that alcohol was standing in between me and God, possibly because I felt guilty, maybe because I knew in my heart that it was wrong for me to pass out every night. I took it a step further and thought it was a great idea to mix it with prescription drugs that I was prescribed by my doctor. I had a lot of pain, had a bad car wreck, and so I was mixing it with sleeping pills, pain pills, anti-anxiety pills. My addiction spiraled out of control, and in my mind, I really thought I had it under control, and I wasn't driving, wasn't driving around, so wasn't drinking and driving. But I was at my house. I was in front of my kids. They even knew to sniff my big cup to see what it was before they took a drink of it. And that's sad, and that's something that I accepted at the time. I was like, oh, it's mommy's diet drink. And they were, they're still little, but they were old enough to know. And they were old enough to know that if I lost my temper, that I was probably drunk. So Mike and I actually went through a full-on divorce. There were times when I wasn't allowed to see the kids. Everything kind of spiraled out of control. I, actually got arrested, kicked a cop. I mean, it just, things that sound absolutely nutty to happen. And you look at other people, you're like, oh yeah, he spent a lot of time in jail, or yeah, he's got a drug problem. Well, I spent time in jail. I had an alcohol problem. That's me.
For me, it became a very dark place as I watched my family fall apart, and I watched my business fall apart. Dealing with an addict is very different than anything you would normally understand. There's no logic behind it. There's no it doesn't make sense. It's hard because you have to be the one to try and make them understand that what they're doing is destructive. And sometimes that means you have to make hard decisions, and you have to do things that you really don't want to do. It's just a very tough place to be. And when you're in that position and you're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, you might never think that you'll see it. But if you follow God's leading, you listen to what He has to say to you, and pray. I had people all over the country praying for both of us in the situation, and that's why I said earlier, if you don't believe in the power of prayer, you should, because that's the only reason that I'm here with her.
When I decided to go to rehab, we had enough support from our friends here at the church that, you know, my kids had a great time while I was gone because they were loved on. You know, the more we love each other, the more we can help each other get through these times. Satan will not win if you pray, you have support, and you can get through it.
I feel good because we were able to make it through, and my family has been restored, and my life has been restored, and it was difficult, but I grew a great deal through the whole process. It caused me to go from a perfectly complacent Christian to someone who had to lean on and rely on God to get me through the day. And it's really important when you're in those situations that instead of trying to fight the current, that you realize that this is God's plan, it's not yours. And you need to seek His wisdom and His guidance in those situations. And He'll bring you through it. And for people who are out there that are struggling right now, and they may think there's no light at the end of the tunnel, all I can say is I encourage you to keep praying, keep listening to what God is trying to tell you, and the light at the tunnel will appear eventually.
Only by the grace of God am I sober, and only by the grace of God are we still a family. And this church, my church family, has gotten us through this, and I strongly believe, and I know in my heart, that Satan wants to steal, kill, and destroy us, families, for generations, and marriages, divorces, children. He does anything he can to get in your head, whether it's addiction, whether it's, just family issues, financial issues. He does not want us to recover. He wants us to split up. He wants us to blame each other. He wants our children to feel the hurt. He does not want us to recover, and we know that it can happen because we've been there.
Well, and that's the good thing about Celebrate Recovery is it is an all-encompassing program. It is not dealing with just addiction. It deals with all your hurts and hang-ups, as we've heard about for weeks now. But I truly believe that the steps work for everybody, no matter what your issue is, because it's all based on the same principles of believing in God and understanding that He can help you.
At Celebrate Recovery, we're not looking to say, oh, you've got a problem, you need to do this, you need to do this. No, we're here to love on you, because everybody's got problems. And if you say you don't, then I don't believe you. But you can turn it over to God. Turn it over to God. Lean on your brothers and sisters, and don't let Satan win. That's what this is about. I absolutely, positively ask God to just use me every day, every minute of the day, because He saved me, and we couldn't be happier.